The year is 991 A.D. Ethelred II sits on the throne of England. It is not a good time to be king, for after years of relative peace, Vikings again are raiding England. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle for the year 991 tells of 93 ships, led by Olaf Tryggvason, coming to the east coast of England. Small, light, and shallow of draft, the Viking ships could not only cross the sea, but also travel far up rivers, landing in places both unexpected and undefended. The Vikings would camp on beaches or islands in the rivers, and from these bases they spread out across the countryside, striking far inland, seeking gold, silver, cattle, horses, and slaves. The English rallied to defend themselves, but it took time. News of the Vikings could spread no faster than a man on a horse could ride. By the time the English forces could gather and set off in pursuit, the Vikings would already be on their way to another section of the coast. And so it went through that grim summer. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle says the Vikings ravaged about the town of Folkestone. Then they sailed north to Sandwich, from there north again to Ipswich. All through the summer, their ships filled with plunder. All through the summer, the English forces trailed behind them. And then the Vikings turned south. And so it was that English and Viking forces finally met near the town of Malden.
The horses! Proceed on foot! Ready your weapons! And be high of courage!
Byrhtnoth, Ealdorman of Essex, charged with the task of defending this section of England. He hopes to bring the Vikings in battle this day and drive them out of the country. Camped on an island in the river Blackwater are Byrhtnoth's opponents, waiting for the tide to fall so they can wade to shore and engage the English. They are skilled, battle-hardened professional warriors. Byrhtnoth has his share of trained warriors, his thanes, members of his household, each man a match for any Viking out on the island. But today the trained Viking warriors outnumber the trained English warriors. Most of Byrhtnoth's army consists of the region's levy, men and boys, more used to wielding sickle and scythe than sword and shield. A favorite hawk set free, a sign to his friends that the warrior goes into battle without thought for his future. Before the battle begins, a Viking herald steps forward to make an offer to the English.
Bold seamen have sent me to you to tell you to send them treasure at once to buy them off. It is better for you to turn this attack with tribute than to make us share together in such grim battle. We need not kill each other if you are quick enough. We'll grant you truce for a tribute in gold. If you in command here make the decision to ransom your people, you can pay for this by offering the seamen all they require, taking from us peace in exchange. We'll return to our ships with that tribute money and put to sea, keeping peace with you.
Can you hear, pirate, what my people say? They prefer to pay tribute in fine war gear deadly spearheads, steel blades. Go back and advise your Vikings of this, spokesman. A more dreadful tale, that a noble earl and his troops stand here firm on this ground to defend, for Ethelred, my king and elder lord, his folk and his lands. More likely to fall in battle are you heathens, too bad. That you should go back to your ships with our tribute unfought, when you have come from so far to visit our lands here. Not so lightly shall you go walking off with our treasure. Peace will be had with the edge and the point before we pay tribute.
The tide goes out. The Vikings begin their attack. But the only section of the river shallow enough to ford is so narrow, the Vikings can cross only one at a time. The warriors Wulfstan, Arlhere, and Maccus are waiting. The Vikings are easily held back. Now the Vikings, Harold makes an astonishing proposition. Allow us to cross the ford, he says, and take up position on shore so that we may come to proper battle. Even more astonishing is Bertneth's response.
The way is open, warriors. Come quickly to grips with us. God alone knows who will finally hold the field.
Why did Bertneth allow the Vikings to cross? Was it a misplaced sense of fair play? A blind, foolish adherence to an ancient code of warrior honor? Was it because Bertneth did not want to return to King Ethelred with news that the Vikings had escaped unfought and unharmed? Or was it simply one of those calculated risks of warfare that a leader must sometimes take? The only person who could answer that question never did.
Stop them there, we can stop them here.
for the things I have known, O generous ruler, the joys of this world. But now I urgently need, O Lord, for you to grant this grace for my soul. Its right to bear to your realm, to journey into your power, O Prince of Angels, in peace. Do not, I pray you, allow these scathers from hell to harm my spirit.
With Bertneth dead, the English defense begins to fail. Among the first to flee is one of the Thanes, Godric, son of Oda. In his panic, he seizes Bertneth's horse to make his escape. Many, seeing Godric, think it's Bertneth fleeing the battlefield. The English line wavers. The panic spreads. Soon, almost the entire English army flees the field. Only one force continues to battle the Vikings.
Back in line! You don't avenge your lord by running away!
The Thanes of Bertneth. They live by a warrior's code of honor, which says it's better to die in battle than leave a leader's death unavenged. Saddened by Bertneth's death, angered that one of their own men caused the collapse of their battle line, in one last desperate effort to win the day, the Thanes launch a counterattack. The rout of the English was complete. Bertneth was buried at nearby Ely Abbey. His severed head could not be found. A lump of wax was set in its place. This defeat left Olaf Tryggvason's Vikings free to raid where they would through England. In time, the king, Ethelred, sued for peace and paid the Vikings over 10,000 pounds of silver to leave England. Knowing a good thing when they saw it, the Vikings would come back for this ransom, the Danegeld, again and again. Ethelred was called by his subjects Unready, ill-advised. Today he's known as Ethelred the Unready.
För fysan fortgången. Hidjen to handum, to hia godum. Thought that ofan me erest onfunde. That se erolnolde urtho getholian. He let him thav handon levna fleojan. Havok with das holtest to theres hilde stop. Bethamat michte unknappen, that se knicht nolde, wige, va heto watnum fen.
Du ert Jan drenched.
Tim wolde, edrich, his eltra gelaston, frean to fechta, onnan.
In time, an English bard composed a poem about the battle, not a poem about victory, but of bravery in defeat.
Broadsword,
Only a fragment of the poem survives. It is upon it that this film is based.
What? Mabaloda Hay? Malden.
Father Burknoth Ongan, Berna Trimian, Rad Rade Rinchum Takte, who his sheldan standan thona steda heldan, bad fat hira randa.